Now, on va LinkedIn to cover.
We are not doing Facebook Live today. All right. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you find yourself. You are welcome to today's Mentorship Masterclass. For about 2 months now, we have been looking at a particular subject, and that is the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And today we are looking at concluding on that so that we can move on to some other equally important things. But before we proceed, we want to take a word of prayer from Mr. Amankwa. We want to take a word of prayer from Mr. Amankwa.
Let's be in the mood of prayer.
Our Lord and Master Savior, we thank you once again. Lord, it is by your wish that we meet today to learn. All we ask for is your knowledge and your understanding. Come and be with us. We commit our leader into your hand, that may you anoint him and give him the full flesh of knowledge so that we can be imparted. In Jesus' mighty name,
Amen. Okay, so as a way of summary, before we go on to what we are going to do for today, we have already indicated that the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership we are talking about was originally propounded by a man called John C. Maxwell, who has taught leadership for over 50 years, and he propounded these laws from his experiences and knowledge in leadership. And so we started by looking at the qualifying tests of these laws. What qualifies these laws to be considered, what qualifies these ideas to be considered as laws, and we realized that they are not based on culture, not based on gender. They relate and apply to all communities. They are recognized by other leaders as well, and they stand the test of time. And we realize that they are the foundation of leadership. They are laws you either obey them and become successful as a leader, or you ignore them and you fail as a leader. So within the period, so far we have looked at 15 of those laws, and today we are going to conclude with the 6th. Quickly, we have looked at the law of the lead, which says that leadership determines effectiveness. Leadership ability is the lead that determines a person's level of effectiveness. And so the higher the lead on your leadership, the higher your level of effectiveness. The lower the lead, the lower your level of effectiveness. So you cannot lead an organization beyond your level of leadership. That is the law of the lead. Then we looked at the law of influence, which says that the true measure of leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And that we realize that there are 5 levels of leadership. And so leadership is not necessarily position, but there are 5 different levels of leadership. We realize that we have the position, we have the permission level, we have the production level, we have the people development level, and we have the personhood level. Then we also looked at the law of process. The law of process says that leadership is developed daily and not a day. Leadership develops daily and not in a day. And so if you want to grow as a leader, if you want to become an effective leader, then you need to sharpen and develop your leadership daily. So it is seen in your daily activities. And realize that it is better to do a thing consistently, or consistency is better than longevity. When you're able to do a thing within a short period consistently, what happens is that you build culture, you develop habits, and it is able to stay with you. That one is better than doing something longer within a time and then not doing it again. Then we also looked at the law of navigation. The law of navigation says that anyone can steer the ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. And so it is talking about the management and the planning aspect of leadership. That in leadership, you have to be a navigator, somebody who can drive your people towards a particular course. Then we also looked at the law of E.F. Hutton. The law of E.F. Hutton says that when the real leader speaks, people will listen. So sometimes somebody may be in a position, but he may not necessarily be the leader, because what makes you identify who the leader is the people's response to what he says. And so in every organization, there are people we call E.F. Hattons. They are the influencers. They may not necessarily occupy positions, but you realize that when they speak, the people listen. So the law of E.F. Hutton. Then we also looked at the law of the solid ground. The law of the solid ground says that trust is the foundation of leadership. It is the glue that holds an organization and its leader together. Trust. And so if you'll be successful as a leader, then you need trust. Your people must trust you, and there are ways by which you can develop trust. Then we also looked at the law of respect. The law of respect says that people naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. People naturally follow leaders stronger than themselves. So the fact that you may be in a position does not necessarily mean that people will follow you. The people will follow you based on how they see you in terms of strength. If they see that you are stronger than they are, they follow you. But if they see that they are stronger than you, it is difficult for them to follow you. So it works just like the law of solid ground. We also looked at the law of empowerment. The law of empowerment says that only secure leaders give power to others. Only secure leaders give power to others. Empowerment is giving power to others. So leadership is about empowerment, but the people who are able to give power to others are the leaders who feel secure. The leaders who feel secure. So when a leader does not feel secure by way of thinking that if I allow somebody the power, the person may take over from me, the person may take my shine, and then all that. So that is the law of empowerment. Now, there are some of the laws that were also presented by members of the class. Some of the laws were presented by members of the class. The law of magnetism, it says that who you are is who you attract. The law of magnetism is that who you are is who you attract. And so in leadership, the kind of people that tend to follow you are the people who tend to think and then reason like you. You attract those kind of people. That is the law of magnetism. Then the law of connection was also presented by Mr. Amankwa. The law of magnetism was presented by Mr. Ado. The law of connection was presented by Mr. Ado. This is that leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. Leaders touch a heart before they ask for a hand. So connection, you try to get your way into the heart of a person before you ask for certain commitments. Then the law of the inner circle. The law of the inner circle was presented by Mr. Michael Powell, and he says that a leader's potential is determined by those closest to him. And so your effectiveness and your potential, the extent to which you can go in your leadership, depends on the people you have in your team, the people you have within your circle. And so no matter how good you may be, if your team members are weak, your potential is limited. But if your team members are strong, then it means that your potential is also higher. Then we also have the law of victory, which was presented by Ms. Esther Kabu. He says that leaders find a way for the team to win. The law of victory, leaders always find a way for the team to win. Leaders do not accept defeat. They do not settle for low. They don't have plan B. They always have plan A. At all costs, by all means, we must win. And they always find a way for the team to win. The law of priorities was presented by Mr. Felix Mensah, and the law of priorities says that leaders understand that activity is not necessarily accomplishment. Activity is not necessarily accomplishment. And so the fact that you are doing an activity does not mean that you have accomplished the objective. There are objectives for which you do everything, and you need to be able to prioritize those objectives, and at the end they assess your activities by that. It is under that we learned about the Pareto principle, where you have the 80-20 principle, and so that is the law of priorities. Then we have the law of sacrifice, which was presented by Mr. Boko, and the law of sacrifice says that a leader must give up to go up. A leader must give up to go up. Your ability to sacrifice the more is what gives you the leeway to go up. A typical example is our leader, Jesus Christ, and he laid down his life, he sacrificed, and that is why globally all over the world there is no leader that can be compared to him, because he has made a great sacrifice. So if you're a leader, you need to be able to think beyond yourself. The moment you assume leadership, you lose the sense of self, and then you sacrifice. So that is the law of sacrifice. Then Miss Mabel also presented on the law of explosive growth. The law of explosive growth says that to add growth, lead followers. To multiply, lead leaders. If you want to add to your growth, say you are 100, I want to be 150, I want to be 110. What you do is that you lead followers. You lead followers. But if you want to multiply your growth, you want to move from 100 to 200 to 400 to 800, multiples of your growth, then what you do is that you lead leaders. Because when you lead leaders, the leaders eventually also lead others. When you lead followers, it ends with the followers. But leaders go beyond themselves and also lead others. So that is the law of explosive growth. So 15 laws we have learned so far, and today we are going to conclude with the law of intuition, the law of buy-in, the law of reproduction, the law of the big move, and the law of timing, and the law of legacy. So 6 laws: the law of intuition, the law of timing, the law of reproduction, the law of the big move, and the law of buy-in, and the law of legacy. Now I'm going to start with some 2 laws, after which I would allow one of us to present on the law of buy-in, and I will come and conclude with the rest. And I'm going to talk of the law of intuition and the law of timing. The law of intuition and the law of timing. Now, one of the questions that is generally asked is whether leaders are born or they are made. And John Maxwell funny answers is that all leaders are born, because every individual in this world is born. Now, that notwithstanding, there is also the knowing that there are people who are born with natural leanings to leadership, especially people with the choleric temperament. They have the natural leanings to leadership. By their temperament, they naturally have a leaning to leadership. So yes, some leaders are natural. They are naturally made. But the truth is that you don't become successful as a leader because you were made naturally. Because you have the natural tendencies to lead does not just make you a leader. For everything you are naturally, you need learning to make it better and make the most of impact. That is why there are some people, when they start going, realize that even in their primary school, realize that they really know how to play soccer, but they grow and then you don't see it again because they didn't learn, they didn't practice. So the fact that you have a natural leaning to leadership does not mean that you can be successful. So yes, some leaders are made, some leaders are born, but it will take the making to be effective as a leader. So that is why we are learning this. Now, these 2 laws that I'm talking about, the law of intuition and the law of timing, are quite difficult to learn. They are quite difficult to learn because they are things that go with the people that are naturally gifted with leadership. But you can equally learn it. Now, the law of intuition, for instance, the law of intuition is something that you really cannot explain. When somebody says that I have intuition, you really cannot explain. Intuition may not be able to be explained. You really cannot have facts to prove. Now, in a typical setting, whatever you say, you need to prove with facts. But intuition is a kind of feeling and knowing you have within, which you cannot prove, yet it is true. You know, but you cannot prove, yet it's true. And naturally, for many people, when something bad is about to happen to you, especially when there is going to be the kind of a death that is going to affect you, sometimes even within the day you begin to have a certain kind of feeling that you really cannot explain, you really cannot tell until the thing has really happened. Then that is when you say that, so that is why I was having this kind of feeling. It is intuition, it is natural, and you really cannot explain. So when somebody says that I feel this way, it really cannot be explained. Now, in leadership, there is a level of intuition that every person needs in leadership. It is that ability that allows you to discern into certain situations without necessarily having facts. It's like you meet somebody and then you somehow know that this person can lead. You somewhere know that this person can do this. And sometimes you ask yourself, what are your bases? And you really do not have any basis. So that is intuition. And it comes with people that are natural leaders. Now, the law of intuition says that leaders evaluate everything with a leadership bias. Leaders evaluate everything with a leader's bias. This law gives the leader a natural advantage to see and sense things more quickly than others. And so people who are natural leaders always look at everything from the angle of leadership. Their leadership bias, they see and evaluate everything with a leadership bias. This law, it gives the leader an advantage to see and sense things more quickly than others. And so you can be there within a certain, but then there is that person who is naturally gifted as a leader, and then he's able to see a few things that not everybody will see. He's able to sense a few things that not everybody will see. Before others will see or before others will sense it, he would have seen or sensed it already. It is called intuition. Intuition. And so intuition is very important for everybody in this life. Intuition is the ability to understand something instinctively without the need for conscious reasoning. Now, when you are getting intuition, you might not have really thought about it. It just comes. It is a kind of knowing that you know, but you really do not understand. Now, intuition usually happens in your area of strength. A person is intuitive in his natural area of gifting. When somebody is naturally gifted as a singer, when he gets into a singing environment with somebody who is not naturally gifted as a singer, the kind of things that that person can sense and know, it will take you to learn a few things before you can know. And so sometimes you get to an environment and then you see that they are singing, everything is all right, and then you are like, wow, they are singing very well. But the person who has a natural leaning to singing will be like, but what is there's this chord here, there's this chord, there's this, and then you just marvel. And those are the people that sometimes we think that they are very critical. Everybody is saying that everything is all right, but for him, he sees that there is this, and sometimes you just wonder, what at all is it? That is intuition. Now, if you don't have intuition in your dealings, what happens is that you set up a mediocre environment, because people can do things all right, but they are not doing it unto perfection. But it takes intuitiveness for you to know what is wrong and what is not there. And so if you are not intuitive in that area, you realize that, oh, the person has done well, he is doing well, and okay, that is okay. But when you are intuitive, you can tell, even though that the person is doing well, but you see that, you still say that there is more room for improvement. And so intuition is very important. Now, when you are intuitive, one thing that intuition helps you to do is that intuition helps you to read. Intuition helps you to read. Now, in life, every individual, and for that matter, leaders are readers. Leaders are readers. Anybody who would ever be successful in leadership would have to cultivate the habit of reading. But I am not just talking about reading of books or reading of information, but leaders are readers of people. Leaders are readers of people. When somebody is a leader, he would be able to read you and sometimes predict you. People with that intuition. There is a book titled How to Read a Person Like a Book. How to read a person like a book. So people are readers. And so sometimes leaders are readers of people. Two, leaders are readers of opportunities. So you see that something is going on and quickly be able to sense the opportunities available. And you realize that many people will not see it. And so sometimes when you are working with a leader who is naturally gifted, who has intuition, sometimes he'll be leading you along a certain path you will not know. And many of the time you may even think that the person is worrying you. Where are you going? Why all this stress? And then all that. And sometimes you may be complaining. Even at the same time, you will draw back. But when you follow the person closely and you eventually arrive at it, then you realize that this is why this person was doing this to me. But at the beginning, you don't know. But because he is a leader and naturally intuitive, he's able to read the opportunities ahead. So leaders are readers of opportunities. Leaders are also readers of environment. Leaders are readers of timing. Leaders are readers of motives. Sometimes people work with me and then they say, and then I'm able to tell them they are, we're able to read motives. So when you have intuition, you can even read the motives of people by their words, by their actions. You'll be able to read them. Leaders are readers of the future. Leaders are readers of the placement of people. Sometimes people are available, but you don't know where to place them. You can have people who are well resourced, but you will need intuition to be able to know where to place each and every one of them so that they can effectively function. Other than that, you can put people in the wrong position and they may be good, yet they will not be able to function. Leaders are readers of process. So what it happens is that in leadership, if you can be intuitive, you would always get a head start. You can always go higher. So how can you enhance your intuition? How can you develop your intuition? Now, there are two ways by which you can develop your intuition. Number one is to lead out of your giftedness. Is to lead out of your natural area. You see, in this world, there are two ways to approach things. Either you approach it from the angle of your weakness, or you approach it from the angle of your strength. Now, some people believe that in this life, if you want to be successful, you must work on your weaknesses so that you undermine the effect, so that you limit the effect of your weakness. That is good. It has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. Other people also have the opinion that if you really want to grow and you want to be effective, then heighten the effect of your strength, build on your strength, and then you will be effective. Now, for me, I am of the opinion that if you really want to be successful in this world, major on your strength. Major on your strength. Major on your strength. And so when you lead out of your giftedness, you are naturally intuitive. You become intuitive. And so if you are not a singer naturally and you are going to lead a choir, then it means that you have a major task to do. But if there is an opportunity for you to lead and you are naturally a singer, then the best thing is to go and lead the choir. Because in that place, you are naturally a singer, and so you will have intuition. And the more you have intuition and the more you put your intuition to work, the more your intuition develops. And so, if you want to enhance your intuition, the first thing to do is to lead out of your giftedness, lead out of your natural abilities. Number 2 is to find an intuitive leader and associate with him or her. If you are not intuitive, then what you need to do is to find a leader who is intuitive and associate yourself with him or her. As you work with the person and as you study the way he does his things, naturally you also become intuitive. You tend to know how certain things are done. So you either have it or you get it by association. There are 2 ways. Just 2 ways by which you can enhance your intuitiveness. You either have it naturally or you associate. And for me, I will do both. If I have it, I do it more. And then I also associate with people who have it so that we enhance it. So there are 2 ways by which you have intuition. The reality is that leadership intuition is often the factor that separates the greatest leaders from the merely good ones. Leadership intuition is often the factor that separates the greatest leaders from the merely good ones. Everybody can be good as a leader, but what really separates the great leaders from the merely good ones is intuition. If you have it, you have it. If you don't have it, you develop it, or you don't have it. Now, one of the things intuition does is that intuition helps you to read and diagnose, or intuition helps you to make judgments. Intuition helps you to make judgments. Now, somebody has said that if a leader repeatedly shows poor judgment, even in little things, people start to think that having him as the leader is the real mistake. If a leader repeatedly shows poor judgment, so when there is a situation, you are not able to analyze it well, you are not able to judge it well, you are not able to bring in the right issues, even in little things, people start to think that having him as the leader is the real mistake. And so if things are not going well, they say that no, the thing. That's what I'm saying, that people who are intuitive always look at things from a leadership bias. That is the law of intuition. You need to learn to be intuitive to be effective as a leader. The second of the intuitive is the law of timing. The law of timing. The law of timing. The law of timing. It is the second law that has also got to do with natural leanings. Second law that has got to do with natural. Now, the law of timing says that when to lead is as important as what to do and where to go. When to lead is as important as what to do and where to go. Now, for people who are great decision makers, they always think that great decision makers understand that the timing of the decision is as important as the decision itself. Great decision makers always have this understanding that the timing of the decision is as important as the decision itself. So timing is very relevant. Timing is very relevant. When the right leader and the right timing come together, incredible things happen. When the right leader and the right timing come together, incredible things happen. Big things only happen when the right leader and the right timing comes in. So when the right leader is put in the right timing, things will not be as effective and successful as it would have been if he had the right time. So great decision makers understand that timing of the decision is as important as the decision itself. Now, so this is the second difficult law to learn and teach. It is natural and comes with people who are naturally leaders. Your ability to know that this is the time is very important. This is the time is very important. It is that law that makes you know when to step in as a leader and when to step out as a leader. The law of timing makes the leader know when to step in as a leader and when to step out as a leader. And so when things are going on within the organization or within any setting, there are times that the leader must step in. There are also times that the leader must step out. There are times that you need to hand over. There are times that you know that you would have to continue, and it has got to do with the law of time. Now, note the following 4 things about timing. The following 4 things about timing. Number 1, the wrong action at the wrong time is equal to disaster. The wrong action at the wrong time is equal to disaster. When you take the wrong action at the wrong time, what happens is a disaster. What happens is beyond control. It's difficult to manage it. Wrong action at the wrong time is equal to disaster. Number 2, the wrong action at the right time is considered a mistake. The wrong action at the right time is considered a mistake. Now, sometimes the timing will be right for you as a leader to step in or to step out, but maybe the time to step in, you step out. The timing is right, but you took the wrong action. When you take the wrong action in the right timing, we consider that as a mistake. It's a mistake that has been done. Number 3, the right action at the wrong time results in resistance. The right action at the wrong time results in resistance. So sometimes you're a leader, you want to push an agenda, but you realize that the people are opposing. It is not that the idea may be wrong, but the timing. So the right action at the wrong time results in resistance. So whenever you are pushing something and there is a resistance, you have to check what is the timing. Is the timing right? So the right action at the wrong time is equal to resistance. Number 4, the right action at the right time is equal to success. The right action at the right time is equal to success. So you become successful when you do the right thing in the right time. If you do the right thing in the wrong time, what you are going to have is that people will resist. No matter how nice the idea may be, people will resist. People will resist. So quickly, let's look at some indicators of the right time. How do you know that this time is right for me? This time is right for me. How do you know that this time is right for me? Some indicators of the right time. But before that, you see, if you be able to really know the time, and there are a few things that you as a person you need to have. You have to have understanding. It depends on your maturity. It depends on your level of confidence. It depends on your decisiveness. It depends on your experience. It depends on your intuitiveness. It depends on your preparation. But the very important one is your preparation. If you are really prepared, then you really know the time. But 7 indicators of the right time. So you know this, or you take action when these things are in place. Number 1, after you have defined reality, the timing is right after you have defined reality. Now, when we studied the law of navigation, we said that for whatever you want to do, you would have to take the thing through a process. And one of the things you need to do is to be able to define reality. Is to be able to define reality. What do we mean by reality? When you are talking about reality, then you are talking about the exact things that are supposed to be. See, sometimes we act by faith. But if you be able to act by faith, you need to know what is real. So this thing is there. If I want to go out of this room and the door is locked. The reality is that the door is locked and I will need a key to be able to go out. I will need the door to be opened. It is the reality. So until you have defined a reality, you don't make a move. The reason is that it is not everybody that may move in line with you on your angle of faith. Some people are, especially when you have the melancholics among you, they are people who do calculations. They are very calculative in the things they do. So if you are saying that we should go this way, then you should let me know what is at stake. Other than that, I will resist. So when you have defined reality, so as a leader, you define reality, then you bring in your hope. And that will lead us to the law of the big mo. We'll come to that. And so when you have defined reality, number 2 is after you have identified the issues. The issues. We want to undertake this project. What are the issues? What are the areas that we need to look at? What are the challenges that we are going to encounter? You would have to identify the issues. So the timing is right after you have identified the issues. Number 3, the timing is right after you have met with the influences. After you have met with the EF patterns. When we are studying the law of navigation or the law of EF pattern, we said that in any organization, there are the EF patterns. And if you really want to be successful as a leader, then you must learn to have meetings before meetings. You identify the influences, you speak with them, share the idea with them, and then cause them to buy in. So that when you go to the meeting and then you are presenting your case, you can say that, oh, I want us to maybe buy a set of instruments. And when I discussed with Mr. Boko, and you know definitely that Mr. Boko is an influential person. And so in my discussion with Mr. Boko, he is of the view that we should buy instruments. So once you bring Mr. Boko in, the people see Boko as an influencer. And so once his name comes in, they buy it into it. So your timing is right when you have met with the influencers. So until you have met with the influencers, the timing is not right. Because if you don't buy them before the meeting, at the meeting, if they are not in agreement with you, they will resist. But if you buy them behind the scenes and then you get to know the opinions and you explain things to them for them to buy, at the meeting, when you raise the point, they add their voice and you go. So after you have received, after you have met with the influencers. Number 4 is after you have received buy-in from them. And Mr. Piasa is going to talk to us about the law of buy-in, so I'll not go there. But after you have received buy-in from the people, that is when the law is right. So you don't make a major move until you realize that you have received buy-in from the people. Number 5 is after you have communicated the vision. Now sometimes, many of the times, what we communicate is the activity. We don't communicate the vision. We don't communicate the rationale behind the activity. We don't communicate what we envisage to happen after the activity is done. Many of the time, what we communicate is that we communicate the activity. Now, when you communicate the activity and you don't communicate the vision, the people analyze the activity in light with their present situation. And they look at it as to how relevant it is to their present situation. But when you communicate the vision, they look at it in the future. And so today, it may not be relevant, but tomorrow, it will be relevant. And so after you have communicated the vision, number 6 is after you have modeled the behavior. After you have modeled the behavior. You see, it is very wrong to think that people will just do things because you have said. People would only do it when they see you do it. When they see you do it. The law of magnetism. When people will come to you, they would want to see certain things. And so if you want us to win 1,000 souls in the year, then we need to see you modeling it as a leader. Then as a leader, you need to start winning souls and bringing them. So if you want to have 1,000 souls, you come to them, this is my soul. When they see that you are modeling the behavior, then you have the moral right to speak about it. Other than that, you don't. So after you have modeled the behavior, we should come to church early. You need to model the behavior. We should pay our tithe. You need to model the behavior. We should go for visitation. You need to model the behavior. So modeling the behavior. After you have modeled, so if you have not modeled the behavior, you will say it and say it. They will hear. It comes here and then it passes there. It's not like they have not here. They are not seeing the modeling because they want a model to follow. They want a model to follow. That is leadership. Number 7. After you have overcome the issues. After you have overcome the issues. There is a course we want us to undertake. There are issues. You should be able to overcome the issues at your personal level. And then when you meet us, you tell us, this and that are there, but this is what we have put in place. So that those who are fearful, those who fear, can still confidently make a move. So the timing is right after you have overcome the issues. So after you have defined reality, after you have identified the issues, after you have met with the influencers, after you have received buy-in from the people, after you have communicated the vision, after you have modeled the behavior, and after you have overcome the issues. When the right leader and the right timing come together, incredible things happen. Any question, any suggestion, any contribution on these two, then we go to the law of buy-in. Okay, all right. So please pick up so that it can be heard.
Taking our set, for example, like the church set.
Okay.
As a presiding elder, we have 2 years for you to be reviewed.
Okay.
So when the 2 years is up, talking about the
law of timing.
The law of timing, the wrong action at the right time. The wrong action at the right time will amount to a mistake. So if it comes that the presbytery decided to review you after
your 2 years,
and then the one who is about to succeed you will not lead the people as you have led them. We are saying that it will lead to either a mistake or a disaster.
Consider a mistake.
Yeah. So in this case now, how can we control such a situation? Like a vibrant leader, everybody yield that person up, and then it has come that we have to review the person.
Okay.
Yeah, at the wrong time.
All right. You see, there are so many factors that will contribute to why the people may want a certain leader, but the decision makers will not want him. There are so many reasons that will contribute to that, and it's important to look at that. You see, the decision makers are the EF hatters, and when you're a leader, you must always make sure that you have got them. You must always get them to follow you. It comes to the law of explosive growth. The law of explosive growth, that if you want to add to growth, lead followers. If you want to multiply growth, lead leaders. So sometimes, and that is one of the mistakes that sometimes you do. Oh, the leaders are difficult. The leaders are not collaborating. The leaders are not committed. But when I call the people, they will come. So then it's like, let me concentrate on the members. At the end of your term, it is the people who will take the decision. So you always have to look at how to bring them on board. How do you bring them on board? Then you have to look at the law of the leader and you have to look at the law of respect. Am I stronger than them? Why are they not following me? Is it because my leadership maybe is lower than them? Because sometimes the members may be following you because you are stronger than the members. But at the level of leadership, they are stronger than you. So these two people will have to be handled separately. You need to understand how to bring all of them together. Now, if you have been able to buy into the presbytery, then there is no way they'll vote you out. But if you have not been able to buy into them, then they say, oh, they're also continue. When the time is up, we'll show you where the power lies. So you are leading two groups of people. You are leading the followers, the members, and you are also leading leaders. And in each of them, the law of respect must work. You must make sure that you are stronger than them. And when that happens, you know good. But sometimes also, naturally, human beings can be wicked, and then all those. In the case of insecurity, maybe some people think that you are taking all the shine, and that is also another thing. When you are a leader, sacrifice, the law of sacrifice. You should learn how to share the victory, and it even applies in the law of victory. You should learn how to let everybody share in the glory, and it will not be only you. And so when you let all of them share in the glory, even sometimes when they have not contributed anything, you still have them. But if it happens that they are only you are only taking the shine, then some of them become insecure that as long as you are me, they don't respect me, Charlie, you will go. Yes, any other? Yeah, Mr. Mama.
When it comes to transfer, there are so many things that goes into it.
Exactly.
So in the case where maybe the leader has established well in that particular area, then they see how you are doing things, and something is going on wrong somewhere. So they need you to go there and sharpen that place. So it can happen that central here, you have established well, everybody is happy with you. Then maybe Rema is also going down. There is a church killer there, so maybe you are the one who can go and resurrect everything over there. Then they will send you over there, so that when that place too is secure, you can be sent to your normal place or something like that.
So in your case, there are two issues involved.
Yeah.
The person is going to, let's say, Rema, could be the right timing and the right decision. But the person's living off Central may be a wrong decision at the right time. And so the one doing the transfer will have to evaluate all this. This person that I'm taking from Central, who am I replacing? So the replacement of the right leader is very important. And that is where the law of legacy comes in. When you're a leader, you need to prepare your back. Always have it at the back of your mind that no matter what, I will go. So if I will go, if it happens that I'm going today, what happens to my back? So we'll come and look at the law of legacy. Okay.
So the right action at the wrong time results in resistance. And I think in our Ghanaian setting, mostly, any decision that brings change, there's resistance to it. So I want to know if it is the decisions that are being made or the timing of the decisions being made.
It is the time. We don't ensure that the indicators of the right time are available. A typical example is e-levy. It's not because e-levy is bad. E-levy is being implemented in other countries. But why are we talking? Everybody is talking. The issue is timing. And the timing is not necessarily because it is 2022, but the indicators are not there. Reality has not been defined. The issues have not been identified. The influences have not been met. It's been a one-sided. If you really then why don't you bring opposition together? Let's look at how we can, let's make them. The vision has not been communicated. The leaders have not modeled their behavior. They have not modeled it. Oh, when e-levy comes in to solve all the problem, what is the guarantee? The previous money, what happened to it? So it is an issue of timing. Timing not because of the year, but timing because of the indicators. If the indicators are not there. So timing has not got to do with a particular time, but it has got to do with the presence or the absence of the indicators. So if the indicators are there, the timing is right. If the indicators are not there, the timing is wrong. Okay.
So for instance, in a church like this, I think when the decision came that you can do without the headgear. I'm sure there were some resistance to it.
Yes.
So was the timing wrong or was it
yes,
the right time?
So the issue is that all the indicators were not there. But they also have to find a way of managing it. You see, that is why this one is very important. After you have overcome the issues, now you identify the issues, you know the reality, then you begin to have a plan. If I implement this and this resistance comes, what happens. But you see, this thing, though there were resistance, but it was still successful because the influencers were met. The thing started gradually. Let's meet the executive. Let's meet the area heads. Let's meet the pastors. And so within the executive, if they are 10, you are able to buy about 70%. Once you have 70%, 30% resistance is there, but the 70% will overcome. Let's meet the apostles, the area heads. When we meet them, they are 100. We win 60%. The 60% will overcome the 40%. Then the pastors too, let's meet them. So immediately that's what quickly they called all the pastors at the various area levels. They discuss with them. Then they will also take it to them. So once the influencers are bought into it, the members will only make noise. So when you don't meet with them, if the influencers rejected, if when it came, apostles no sorry, and even to date, there are still people who still have issues with it. But the influencers are bought into it, and that is all. So meeting with the influencers is very important. And then he says that after you have received buy-in from them, because he's going to talk about the law buy-in, I don't want to go there.
So with the indicators, there's no way you can bypass one.
Yes, you need to make sure that they are all there. You need to make sure they are all there, or at least majority are there. Yes, majority of the indicators are there.
I think you can't do away with the influencers.
Yes, for the influencers, no, you can't do away with them.
Okay. Taking Nanado for instance, he contested for about 3 or 4 times before he won the election. So I want to ask, was his action for the first time the right action at the wrong time?
Nanado's situation, I can relate it to the law of connection. A leader touches a heart before asking for a hand. You see, when he started contesting, he had contributed so much economically, but the natural thinking of people are there. Now, when you have been presented for a certain long time, at a point in time, people even begin to have sympathy for you. And it's one of the major things that brought him in. Because the kind of things people were saying about him, and then they were saying, in fact, they're not almost saying almost saying, but at the point, timing, yes, is a factor. Because the leader who was there, the people had also gotten fed up with the person. So obviously somebody has to come in. And then there's also somebody who has been presented over the period. And so he has found his way into the heart of the people. Then his major campaign message, free SHS. He touched the heart of the people. When I come, SHS is going to be free. And SHS was one in the vote. So the people were, oh no, this is a leader who thinks about us. When he comes, SHS is going to free. We are no longer going to pay school fees. Let's vote for him.
And SHS by then too was expensive.
Very expensive.
Yes, because I remember some of my students, some paid more than 2,000 before getting admission.
The protocol you
more than
and all that.
And somebody is saying that when I come, it will be free.
This will be free. Because that one you have a direct benefit. If you say that I'll build roads, yes, roads is there, but the benefit is not direct. But free SHS, I'll have a direct benefit. So he was able to connect with the heart of the people, and then timing was also very, very significant. So that is why we are saying that when the right leader and the right timing come together, incredible things happen. If at that time, if he still didn't have a relevant message that will win the heart of the people, maybe somebody else would have gotten the opportunity. So that is it. Hey, more questions.
You see, there is a particular plan that, by the grace of God, I'm a leader. But there's a particular plan that, an idea that I bought somewhere as a leadership quality. And indeed, when anytime I'm using it, in fact, it's really helping me. The idea was that he said, I've forgotten the title of the book. He said, leaders don't work on the work,
but work on the workers. If you work on the workers work on the work.
Exactly.
And I don't know, you see, all the leadership laws that you just mentioned, I'm trying to contemplate, I don't know where to fix that particular extract. So is it a different law or is it somewhere?
The law of explosive growth, the law of empowerment.
Exactly.
And I'm going to talk about the law of reproduction as well.
Empowerment will be the right business.
The law of empowerment.
The law of explosive growth.
But the law of explosive growth, when you work on the workers, when you work on the workers, they work on the work.
Okay.
Yes.
And
so
you see-
the law of so when he works on me as a worker, I will go and work on the work. But if he works on the work, there is nobody to work on the other workers. So explosive growth.
So I don't joke with my workers. Because I've tried it before and it didn't work. You see, the influencers that you just mentioned, there are some people, for me, I enjoy working with them. Yesterday I was telling Pastor Chu was saying something, because there are some elders. In fact, anytime we meet at the mission house, then you see them, and let's say a pastor want to bring in a new idea, a new, let's say, something. Then somebody tell the Papa, me kind a ministerial handbook anymore. You see, now by the grace of God, everybody, previously it was with the pastors, but now all the elders are having it. Papa, me kind you see, and that particular elder is someone who always challenge pastors with policy. Now I was telling pastor that, but I love working with such people, because if they are in your, if they are in your team, they really shapes you and helps you. There are some teachers of mine, in fact, even something that will not bring any confusion, they will create confusion. And I love them. It really works. So I am building my message on the law of, is it, the influences.
The law of peer party.
Yes. You see, there are certain things sometimes if I want to do, I know some of the teachers will resist. But what I'll do is that I'll look at the influences. Then you'll be there, you have a call, then come to my office. Then you come. Don't you think that if I do this, it will help? Sir, I think, okay. Then the person will buy my idea. He will go. Then you'll be there, then the one day I'll call this person. Today I'll come to your class, okay, sir, I'll be expecting you. Then I'll come there, I'll come and enjoy your lesson. After which then I'll sit down with you. Don't you think if I do this thing with you? Because I'm thinking that this is, okay. Is it, by then, you feel happy, me coming to you. I hope you are getting it. Yeah. And then you are okay, hey, the leader has come to me. Yes. This leader, he doesn't joke with me. So you build that friendship. The moment you build the friendship, anything that you bring on board, the person will. So before I will call for a general staff meeting, I've already planted my ideas. So the moment you bring it on board, you see some people may try to then, the influencers, they will kill the message there. Wow. So I think it's a good thing to do.
Yes.
So I want to ask whether everybody has intuition.
No, it's not everybody who has it. Yeah, okay, everybody has intuition. Yes, but you have intuition in your area of giftedness, your natural ability. So where you are gifted is where your natural intuition is.
You see, when you are talking of the law of intuition, the only person that came in mind that I saw, for me, I see this man to be, in fact, that gift is there, is Chemapokunina. I always tell my wife, and I'm praying to God to help me to have that. You see, he's good at choosing leaders. Any leader that he chooses, and in fact, they are really doing well. They are, you see, the GS, the evangelism director, all the people that he chose. So sometimes I ask myself, how did he do that? Because there are some people, I remember some time ago, I was having a discussion with Effah about when a time came that we were after officers. Then I'll mention this name, and Effah will say, okay, then I mentioned this name, okay. but we the money kakra. And all the money kakra from, you could see that all the message that he gave me, there's a business that I want to embark on. I thought I may cannot decide me. The money is not there. I had wanted to do business on iron rocks. The money was not there. There's a project I want to do on my own. But before that, I bought the expensive items that a time will come, it will be very expensive that I cannot afford. So the number of iron rods that will have the building, that one I have them there. But I got to know that no, if I do this business will help me. But I realized that me too, I don't have money to do a business. Then if that is the case, what came in mind was that when God called Moses, what do you have in your hand? He asked him. That was something that was the idea that came to me. In fact, I prayed about it. Then one night I was there, then it came to me that I have forgotten that when God called Moses, he asked him what was in his hand. So you want to do an iron business. No, you don't have money, but you have got the number of irons there. Let's start with it. Then I discussed with the Effah. I said, if we start with it today and the following day the price is increased, what we do? Then I discussed with my elder brother too. Then he said, Master, business there, you take a risk. I started selling the iron rods. Not knowing that the price has increased. And I was also selling it at a cheaper price here. And people were coming to me, hey, a business in said, go. Then I sent in the money to the company for them to bring me another stock. And they said, Master, you are too more. And the moment that I'm going. So it's a grace that, in fact, we have to pray for. Yeah, it's a grace that you have to pray for because why not that grace now? Oh,
all right, so let's welcome our brother Effah to take us through the law of buy-in. The law of buy-in. Let's welcome you with a round of applause.
Thank you very much for the great opportunity to speak on one of the laws, 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And I'm going to talk on the law of buying in. The law of buying states that people buy into the leader, then the vision. People will have to buy into the leader, then the vision.
You have to buy into the leader.
People buy into the leader.
They buy into the leader.
They buy into the leader.
Not they buy in the leader.
They buy into the leader.
Because,
not in the leader. They buy into the leader and then the vision. So they don't just look at your vision and then begin to follow you. You come out with such beautiful idea and then you expect your team members or your followers to begin to act or to follow you like that. No. But they look at what you as a leader you have, what you can contribute, what you are able to bring on board, what you can actually take the lead into. For example, you want us to maybe build a house, but you personally, you don't have any interest, or your attitude and your behavior does not relate into what? Something that can cause us to build a house. But this guy is saying, let's build a house. How can they just do it? But when they have the interest in you, when they believe in you, that yes, this guy he has experience or he has a story to give as far as this area is concerned, then you are easy to go. Most at times, when you have followers and then you don't have a story to tell, you don't have any experience, or when they look at you, they look at different attitude, they look at different lifestyle, and you are also talking about something else. They relate more of what you do than what you tell them. So it says that the leader finds a dream, and then the people finds the leader, and then the dream. Let me say it again. The leader finds the dream before you find your people. And then the people will find you the leader before the dream. So you have a beautiful vision or aim that you want to achieve. Then you have to look at the people that you are going to work with. After that, these people will not quickly move into your vision. They will not just go into what you want them to do, but they look at you, the leader. They look at the leader before they look at what you are bringing on board. Again, people don't just follow worthy courses. What you bring on board is so worthy, it's so praising, so pleasant. So you think people just follow like that? No. They follow worthy leaders who promote the cause they believe in. If your vision is worthy, but the leader is not worthy, you cannot succeed. You must be trustworthy. You should be somebody that can believe in you before they will get up and decide to follow what you are asking them what to do. So he says that people don't just follow worthy cause, they follow worthy leaders who promote the cause they believe in. For example, if we don't believe in our mentor, we don't see anything in him, all that is being on board, we cannot just abide by it. But because we believe in him, because we have the confidence in him, we know that gradually, he will take us somewhere. So what you may be bringing on board will look so beautiful, but when your attitude and your lifestyle is something that is rather scaring them away, is rather something that's just putting them off, then there's no way. No matter how beautiful your vision or your idea is, they can never support you. Now, as a leader, you carry a message, but the message that you give to the people should be filtered by you, the messenger. Every message the people believe in is filtered by the messenger who delivers the message. For example, we are talking about living a holy life. But you yourself, your life is not anything to do with holiness. They will say, they are not okay. So this law of binding is more like walking the talk, not just talking or saying something, but you try to do. Even when you begin doing what you want your followers to do, quickly they will start doing it. Last week, when school reopens, we begin to read. We start to read the school around school compound, and then together the students and then the teachers know that they were not around. So I myself with the students, I took the catalyst, and then I was reading. So as soon as I began to read, all of them they came around. I told them, "What are your catalysts?" Within a trigger and I, we have read almost half of our school field. And then one of them, Madam Kisa, said, "Can I say, Chama, and I say, oh, I just want to let them see, or I just want to pray for them to also do that." The following day, when we went, I shared the portion for them together with the school prefect. And then Madam also came that these prefects, they should have been exempted. And I told Madam, they are leaders. Although they are reading, I didn't give them bigger portion, but I just wanted to begin to do something. So as a leader, the message you carry, you must let the message be in you, not just given out to people to just hear it. We have a mathematical equation as far as the law of buying is concerned. A mathematical equation or expression as far as the law of buying is concerned. I wish I could get the board, but anyway, leader plus vision is equal to result. When we have a leader who has a vision, then we are going to have what? A result. And then under this equation, there are 3 or 4 things we need to what? Look at. Now, under the leader, when your followers do not buy into the leader, at the same time they don't buy into your vision, what will happen? We have leadership or a leader, a vision, and then a result. So a leader, your members do not buy into you, they don't believe in you, they also don't believe in your vision. What will happen? The result will be so catastrophic.
No, there will not be any result.
There wouldn't be any result. What will come out is that they will get another leader. The result is that they will get another leader. Simple and short for that. Again, if your followers do not buy in you, but they buy in your vision, what will happen? What you are trying to put up, they love it. It's so beautiful, so pleasant. But they don't buy in you, the leader. What will happen? I don't know if anyone can.
They don't believe in you,
but they believe
in the vision.
in the vision. They don't buy in you, but they buy in your vision. What will happen? What will happen?
Okay.
Oh, I think Eda is on floor, so when you finish, then you come in.
Let him come.
Yes.
I think they can communicate that vision to somebody they
Trust.
they trust
Or they believe in.
buy in,
Yeah.
and then follow that person.
So we replaced.
That is where they follow the EF patterns.
EF artists. That law, I'm not much comfortable with it.
When they speak, they get
When
more followers than even you, the leader.
When they believe,
When they speak, the EF patterns speak. The followers buy the ideas than
you the follower.
Yeah.
Okay. So when people don't buy into you as a leader, but they buy in your vision, still they will yearn for another leader. They don't buy into you, but they buy into your vision. They will get a new leader. Now, let's look at they buy in you, but don't buy in your vision. What will happen?
They buy in you, but they don't buy in the vision.
And I think maybe that one too, we can look at the character.
Oh,
Maybe your character is good.
it is when your character is good. That is what we cause it to buy in you.
Yes, that's what I'm
They vote in you, but what you are bringing on board, they don't all that
Since they
value
have
it.
seen the qualities in you, all the qualities are good. Everything about you as a leader,
That's great.
they cherish it. But the ideas
You are bringing on board?
you are bringing on board, they don't like them. It means the timing and other things can also be.
No, but even that one, since they buy into you, for me, I can see that they will come on board to come and help. Or
And in what way?
they may try to polish your idea.
So that's great. When people,
because they buy in you.
That's great.
So they'll try to polish your idea or help you polish the vision and polish it well as to how they want it.
that's great.
That is if they buy into you. But you see, I like the statement you made that leaders look at the vision before followers. But followers look at the leader before vision.
The vision.
You see, if you are a leader, since there's a big task for you to perform, or something has been entrusted to you, okay, the only thing that you are always after is results. Oh, I did the say, oh, this thing, you must do this, this you must do this, this you must do this, you must do this. So you want the team to move forward. So yours is always vision. Before even the followers.
Yes.
But
before
the
even
followers, if they don't buy into you, you will suffer.
you suffer. So we are looking at four basic four principles under the law of buy-in. I said there is an equation, leadership or a leader plus vision, that will give us a result. But under each steps, either the leader or a vision, there is something, either the people will buy in or they will not buy in. And then the first one I said was that when people don't buy in the leader, and then they also don't buy in your vision, they will get a new leader. Again, when people don't buy in you, but they buy in your vision, still they'll get a new leader, they'll get another leader. But what we are elaborating on now is that when they buy in you, the leader, but they don't buy in your vision, then as Eda was saying, they'll come on board with new vision. They'll get a new vision. But because they believe in you, you just say that, oh Eda, if you are coming up with this, then let's do it this way. That is what? A new vision. Now, when they buy in you, and then they also buy in your vision, what will happen?
But he said it's going to results.
There's a leader and a vision, that's the result. Now they believe in you, they buy in you, and then they also buy in your vision.
And they got your results.
Yes, it's not equal to the result, but what actually happens is that they'll get behind the leader for him to lead them.
And you see, your equation given us was leader plus vision equal to results.
Yes, it is when they allow the leader to lead them, that's when the results will come out. So the follower will just be behind as a team. They buy in you, they buy in your vision, they'll just be behind you for you to what? Lead them. And at the end, your results will be what? Achieved. Yes, the question, okay.
Leader plus vision is equals to result.
Result.
So I want to ask, a leader plus vision without followers.
A leader
Plus vision
plus vision.
without followers.
In the first place, if you don't have a follower, you are not a leader. Simple.
That answers it all.
If you don't have a follower, then you are not a leader in the first place.
I was
So
coming to ask you that.
that is so simple.
You are a leader of what?
Whom are you leading? Whom are you leading? Now, what we must know as leaders is that as a leader, your success is measured by your ability to actually take people to where they need to go. Let me say it again. As a leader, your success is measured by your ability to actually take people to where they need to go. But you can do that if the people first buy in you. You can do that if the people that you lead, first of all, buy in you. If you are a leader and want to measure how successful you are, then it should be measured by your ability to take them to where you want them. So, Daddy, you are taking us somewhere. And I know we definitely get somewhere. He's taking us to some place. And the success of his leadership will be measured by his ability to take us to where he wants us to be. And that is based or relies on we being able to work, or he causing us to buy in him. Now, let's look at how to apply this law in our daily lives as we are leaders. How do we apply the law of buying in? The first way is to write down your vision. Write it down, what you want to work. So the first is the leader and sees the vision or the dream, and then the people. So as a leader, if you want to apply the law of buying into your life, write down your vision, your mission, what you want to achieve. And then state whether it is worthy for your time and then your effort. You have to write it down, what do you want to achieve? And then look at it, determine whether this thing that I want to achieve, your effort and your time can help or correlate with that particular vision. If not, you may have the vision, but your timing and your effort will kill the vision. Again, Look at it that is it something that you are willing to give a significant part of your life to? The vision that you want to write down. Look at it. That is it. Are you willing to devote your life to? And when Daddy was talking, he made mention of consistency. Is better than longevity. Yes. Are you willing to devote your time to that vision that you have written down? If not, then your vision cannot come to pass. Application of the law of buying into our daily life. 2, what is the level of buy-in for the people you lead? The people that you are leading. How do they buy into you? Look at it. Now, if it's a small group like this, list them down, write them down, the list of your team players or your team members, write them down, and then for each of them, scale them from 1 to 10, whereby the lowest is the one who will not buy into you at all, will not buy into you. And then the 10th one should be the one who will at all costs, even if to cost his life, will automatically what? Buy in you. Now, if there are many or a large group like a church or a congregation, then you have to look at the key players. And then look at them, how often, how willing are they to buy in you. If you get these people down, then you determine to know if the people are willing to buy in you, then they will automatically buy into your vision or your idea. Again, what you must do is that you must live a life that is worthy of emulation. Your life must reflect what you say. Most at times, your followers will rather look at what you say more than they hear what you do more than what you say. They hear what you do more than what you say. When they see you doing something, that will rather go deeper into them than tell them to do this, just do that. For example, when I was reading, last I was saying, when they see me reading, someone will say, hey, come here, say, oh, no, do a park, so no, not or the call. Come here, say, oh, no, do a park, so some guy don't say, me, na me, do you, and I can, the packet crave in the beer, on Betty, but emotion is sooner me buying what I'm doing. Then they will also what? Try to emulate. Again, think about ways you can earn credibility with individuals. There are many ways you can do that. How can you earn credibility from people that people can credit you, say, this guy, we can trust in him. By developing a good relationship with them, by being honest and authentic and developing trust. You'll be honest and then be authentic with people, and then you have to develop the trust. By holding yourself to a high standard and setting a good example. There are everything, there is a standard. But as a leader, you must have a certain standard that you must live up to. That is the standard that I'm living up to. Beyond that, no. Or below that, no. If you have a standard, if you don't have a standard, you will live your life what? Anyhow. And with that, people can highly and then can find difficult to really buy in you. But if you have a standard, this is what my life is up to, this is what I want to do, and people believe in that, you are easy to go. Giving them the tools to do their job. Your leaders or your followers, give them the needed tools, the instrument that they need to do their job. And if they have it, you can, by all means, achieve your target. By helping them to achieve their personal goals. When you have followers and help them achieve their personal goals, let's say, what do you want to do at this time of your life? What do you want to get to? And then you help the person to get to that. Automatically, when you come out with something new, the person will buy into you and then be willing to follow you to achieve that vision. And the final thing is that by developing in them or developing them as leaders. And that one, these laws, that would have been able to present all of them from the first to the last. but he was trying to develop this ability to deliver a message, to speak, public speaking, this attitude in us. So he's trying to develop in us that leadership style. Gradually, give your people room to also what? Operate. And with that, they will know that you have taken them part. You have accepted them, you believe in them, and they will also believe in you. Develop a strategy with each person. If you make it your primary goal to add value to all of them, your credibility factor will rise rapidly. May God bless us as we adapt the law of buy-in and apply it in our daily activities. If there's any question, I'll pause for your questions. And I believe that is here, so you will also add some to it. Thank you very much.
Let's put our hands together for him. Your pen. Great work. Was said the law by I believe you could see that he has read, that he has taken time, so he has touched on all the points. So for me, leadership is about buying. For me, leadership is about buying. If you get the people to buy into you, that is all. They only help you when they buy into you. They will not help you when they have not bought into you. So like he explained, you need to know how to let the people, get the people to buy into you. And once they have bought into you, even if they don't buy into your vision, they will help you get another vision. They will help you shape the vision. They will bring in other ideas. But if they don't buy into you, when you bring the vision, they don't even hear it. And so it is not about the vision, but it's about you, the leader. That's why your mother said that everything rises and falls on leadership. Yes.
I want to ask if with the buying principle, personality or stature count? Because the reason why I'm asking this is because in 2000 and when did President Kufuor came? Was it 2001. You see, President Kufuor had a massive vote in 2001 because of his personality, his stature. But now so giant, but you're permanent. Not fair. So I don't know the buy-in. This one, does it count?
See, in 3 years, you say, "What offered overcome?" So how you can get access into a person's heart can be based on so many things. But at the end of the day, the reality will show. Yes. Me, I really do not believe that President Kufuor became president because of his stature. It is a common thing. Yes, it is a common thing that people say, but I don't believe that he became. Other than that, he wouldn't have gone out because of it. You see, other than that, then when he was living, the person, because within the NPP there were inner politics, and he had a preference, but his preference didn't win. So you see, if that was what brought him in, the person that he had preference for also have the same stature. So it's not the stature. That is what I believe. I believe it's not the stature because we are recording. That's why I don't want to. But because the person he had preference for, obviously his preference was not the one in now. And if it was also stature, then the man in now wouldn't have also gotten it. So I don't believe that it was stature. But whatever be the case, there are so many things that can get you into the heart of a person. Everybody has a preference. So when you are standing, somebody will like you for your leg, somebody will like you for what you are saying, somebody will like you for the dress you are wearing. So there are so many ways. So one of the things you always need to do is to evaluate your people and know that is connection and know how to win their hearts. Then when you win their hearts, then you put into them what they need. So like he said, a leader is the one who is able to take the people to where they need to be. But initially, they may not come to you because of where they need to be. So like Paul said that I make myself all things to all people so that I may win them. So Your stature sometimes, like you meet a woman. A man's stature can get him access to a woman. Maybe a TikTok guy. To when you shall not TikTok already, no. Over 50% chance. But TikTok and worry. It's offer TikTok. We not so raw anymore. Now he's looking for a husband, not TikTok. So everyone say a TikTok there, but on new issues. So buying is throughout how you get into the people, and then how you're able to sustain that. Sometimes they can buy into you, but at a point they don't buy into you again. And so that's why I was talking about credibility. So everything is about buying.
Taking Cain and Abel for instance, what happened there? Cain and Abel and God. Can we say that Cain was not able to buy in to the heart of God? That is why it led.
We need to get as God. we need to get as God. But what is just that Cain was able to get into the house of God and know what God wants.
Yes, okay.
But Cain is not the leader here, so we can't apply by him. The leader is God.
He said the follower must buy into the leader and then the vision. So Cain had a vision of
the follower must buy into the leader before the vision.
The vision. Okay. So Cain had a vision that he's going to offer to God.
Yeah.
But at the end of it all, God did not accept it, meaning that God did not buy into Cain.
Exactly.
Okay.
God did not buy into Cain.
Okay.
That is why he didn't accept his offering.
Okay.
That's very good. Yes.
Okay, so
that is the typical thinking of the follower also.
Okay.
If he doesn't buy into you, your vision is useless to him.
So
You see,
my next question is
the chief brings it well. Nyame anyi kene.
And then affordable. Cain na kasar wa jana when you into my affordable the one thing.
so if the follower buy into you, the leader, and then they don't buy into your vision, can you apply law of process?
Yes, law of process has got to do with your development as a leader. Yes, and process applies everywhere, even in developing your vision. So when they buy into you and they don't buy into your vision, what makes you know that they don't buy into your vision is their reaction. They will come to you, boss, we do the power, but so we say the drink say, and you say, and I say, we say, yeah. Then you. It's now when they do that, it is also a way of sustaining your buy-in, credibility. How do you engage them? So if they come here and say, "Oh, you lose buy-in," then they will see that they will start drifting gradually, and then to get to a point, there's nobody who can come show to. But it'll be half and what you would. So
I think the buying is blood. The buying is very blood. Because let's take it for instance, when Edda was using this case as a scenario, let's take it that you are going to have a staff meeting. You have drawn your agenda, everything. And all the staff doesn't have any idea about it. Are you getting it? And here's the case, you want to introduce new thing. And you didn't give a gist to someone about what you did. You are going to introduce a new thing in the school, of which we all know that when you are introducing a new thing, there will be a resistance. So you have to go and consult them, then you try to win them before you come. So the moment you win them, definitely they are buying you. So you have to do, sometimes you have to do your homework. You have to do your homework before they will buy into you. You don't just wake up and then you start doing your thing because I'm the leader. When you do that, sometimes you talk. You just be sitting there looking at yourself.
then everything will be in a mess.
Okay, because of time, let's not because there's no hearing. The last time we wanted to finish, there are 3 laws that I have to handle now.
My point is, the
So-
recording, is it clear now? Because I think it's getting.
Because of the darkness. So what do we do? Should we continue or we should end and come and continue another time? The law, because I have 3 laws. I have reproduction, I have big mo, I have legacy.
Okay, then I suggest
For me, I suggest we go and come the next time.
So let's take some questions and then, or go and think more so that in our next class after this law then we have broader discussions. So go and think, look at clear situations and then let's come and analyze. I wish I could I'll look for a case so that we'll come and then do a case and then you tell us the laws that are applicable. I'll go. So in our next session we'll have a case study. Yes, I think.
Let me give you a typical scenario.
Okay.
Now, at my end, for instance, the items being sold in the school, there are items being sold by teachers. Some is selling popcorn, somebody is selling meat pie, somebody is selling cocoa drink, somebody is selling sobolo, somebody is selling SI books, somebody is selling this. It's for the teachers. But you see, according to our law, you have to make sure that what you are selling doesn't interfere in your instructional hours. So as a result, they have also employed various people who are selling for them. At the end of the Monday, will pay the people. But I realized that no. I went to a certain school in town. It's a private school. The item they are selling there is for the school. It's for the school. And the school is getting money out of it for developmental project in the school. Then I have to implement that in my school. And you see, I'm out for baby omudidi. Ebi say, and I'm there for plagia, and if you fear the school. Obi say, and then because it's salary and one thing, and I am disappointed in kakra. Ebi say, I am the say school fees you say that ebi say na me do alert bill ebi say then I have to implement that new.
Let me not cut you. Let me end the session.
Okay.
Okay. So we are bringing our class to a close. We have 3 more laws to consider. So in our next class, we are going to consider the 3 laws, and we are going to have a case study on that. I'll get the case study to the WhatsApp platform before we meet again, so that when we come, we can do a better analysis. God bless you and thank you for joining. Bye bye.